Diva, have you even let the breeze blow through your bush hair today? Get out there. Air that thing out. You'll feel better, I promise.
Oh, it's the kid getting words. Podcast on blast, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? I hope we're all well and just ripping into whatever fucking day it is in the world. It's actually a public holiday everywhere in Australia at the moment, except for here in Queensland. So shout out to anyone that did get yesterday off if you're listening to this on the Tuesday. Oh my God, we're getting tangled up in what day of the fucking week it is again. But yeah, no public holiday here. Luckily for you guys, I don't work Mondays, so there is no excuse to lay down a fresh, sick podcast. But before we rip into what's going down in my week this week, let's see what the fuck this opening clip was all on about.
Diva, have you even let the breeze blow through your bush hair today? Get out there. Air that thing out. You'll feel better, I promise.
Air that thing out, divas. Let that breeze blow through your bush on this glorious Tuesday morning. Oh, God. Just kicking off the episode with some strong feminist life coach energy. Far out. That's the lane that I want to get to one day, you know what I mean? But, yeah, that is what a ripping way to start the episode, guys. And potentially that might not even be the weirdest thing you hear this episode. But, look, let's rip into what's going on. There has been a few things go on this week. So I don't think we need to stall anymore. I think we just need to rip right in. But actually, you know what we can do before we rip right in? We can crack this delicious can of Kamikaze. My God, what do we got here today? We have Fire Engine. Okay, I would put this up there, guys. If you want to try Kamikaze, I reckon give this one a crack. This is probably my personal favorite. Just because it takes me back to that like 90s fucking... Here, let me paint the picture for you guys. Let me sell this to you, okay? If you were a kid growing up in the 90s and early 2000s and stuff, right? Say your parents used to go to the pub or something after your footy, and they used to order that like big jug of red lemonade or creaming soda from the pub, right? And you used to pour yourself some of that. That is this exact flavor, okay? Because sometimes I get like a Kirk's fucking creaming soda. Doesn't have that same taste it used to back in the day, but this one right here just somehow jams that fucking sugary punch of old school creaming soda right down your throat with absolutely zero sugar. So zero sugar, zero carbs, breath of God. And my God, that is hard to deny. So without further ado, let's crack this can. Oh, so fucking crisp. I actually had one of you guys. Again, this is the annoying thing, right? Back in the day, one of you guys would have messaged me and I would have been like, oh my God, this person messaged me. I would have remembered the time, the date, your name and all that. But you fucking weapons are just sending me so many messages and shit these days that I honestly cannot fucking keep up. I know that there's probably 6 of you that I need to get back to today. I left you hanging over the weekend. But somebody said last week, they're like, there's something about it that just sounds better. Taking a kamikaze cum shot to the eye. And I'm like, you know what? That does have a better ring to it than potentially any old energy drink companies that may have been associated with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. So let me have a sip of this because I've been ranting for way too long now. Oh God, that is so fucking good. And as of this episode dropping, I believe, okay, if you're like Adrian and you have zero patience and you're just like, where's my fucking discount code? Where's my discount code? Where's this? Where's that? I've been trying to work on it in the back end, guys. But I believe by the time this episode drops, the podcast discount code should be live. So if you go to if you've gone to like BPs and things like that, it's crazy the amount of like price discrepancies that I've so far seen with Kamikaze. So some servos have got it for like $5.95, which is a respectable price for an energy drink, I think. It like some of the competitors are up there for like $8 a can now, which is crazy. And that's exactly. I went to a servo last night on the way to the Gold Coast, and they had them in there for like $8.50 or something. And I was like, what? Like, how can you put that much markup on the price? And they like tangle it in with their American energy drinks and stuff. It's like, brother, you're not fooling me. But anyway, if you are looking to get it at a super discounted price, jump on the website and order it directly from them and use code KAMI, KAMI CGW. So that should get you 10% off whatever you order on site. It also gives the podcast a sneaky little kickback. I'll just be open and honest with you guys. So if you are planning to get on the kamikaze train, jump on there. They got pre-workouts, proteins, creatine, the energy drinks, obviously, hydration drinks, greens, anything you need supplement-wise, they've fucking got it. But let's rip into what's gone down on my week, because that went for a lot longer than I was expecting. That's what happens, guys. When brands get behind me, God, I get fucking passionate about them. So where are we here? What's the first story? That's right. So last week I jumped on here. Let's kick off where we left last week. I said I had a chaotic Monday last week. I had the sports carnival, then I had to lay down the podcast, then I had to rush back for Westy's little school chapel thing where he was receiving an award. So I obviously the kids don't know that they're receiving awards, which I suppose makes sense, because that'd be like if you knew you were getting an award, that'd make like the Oscars and the Golden Globes and shit pretty boring, because only the winners would rock up. All the people that knew they weren't going to win probably wouldn't go to the event. So that makes sense now that I say it out loud. Anyway, I wrap up the podcast. I head down to the school thinking, God, I am a role model parent right now. It doesn't get much better than this, you know what I mean? They should look up perfect dad in the dictionary and there'll be my face right there. That's how I'm picturing this going down in my head. And I rock up to school, and my mum was there as well to watch the prestigious event unfold. And we walk into the chapel before all the kids get there. They let the parents get in first and get their seats. We sit up the back of the chapel in prime video recording position, just so we can get this all on film. Nikita was at work, so I had to get some good photos and videos for her. And then the kids start rolling in, right? The little grade oneers come in, and they're all like looking at their parents sitting up the back, and they're waving. They're like, hi, mum, hi, dad. All excited, right? Grade twoers come in. Similar circumstances. They're all excited to see their parents there. Grade threeers come in. Look, it did die off a little bit when we got to the grade threeers. They were still happy their parents were there, but not as much excitement, okay? A little bit cooler, getting a little bit cooler. And then the grade four boys come in, which is what Westy's in, and just feral little goblins, okay? That's the only way you can describe a 9-year-old boy. So Westy's class starts to proceed, and I'm like, oh, this is Westy's class. There's his teacher. There's some of his friends walking in. And Westy walks past me, just looks at me, no smile, no wave, just looks directly in my soul and says, what are you doing here? My God, cheers, mate. Just fucking rearrange my entire day to come and support your academic achievements, and you just hit me with, what the fuck are you doing here, you stupid fuck? That's what I feel like he said to me in this house of the Lord, okay? Westy, do you not know where we're at right now? God built these walls just for you to fucking receive your awards. But imagine Westy does make it in something one day. Imagine he makes it to the NBA finals. Could you imagine? And he receives his award, and he's all excited, and he looks around the crowd, and I'm sitting there courtside just so excited, and he just goes, what the fuck are you doing here? That's what it felt like. I was heartbroken. I was like, brother, this is the last time I ever come to some sort of sporting event for you, okay? I've sacrificed my entire Monday. I've sacrificed a podcasting day for you. And now this is how you treat me. But it actually, I tacked this on the back of that story because this actually blew my mind on the weekend, okay? Just how delusional some parents are. And I say that in the nicest, most respectful way possible, okay? I know that there's ears listening to this podcast, and eventually things get back to people and blah, blah, blah. I do not mean anything by this story, but it just blows my mind sometimes how delusional some parents can be and how they paint the picture of their children just being like these perfect little angels. And don't get me wrong, I know. It's a bit of a fine line, okay? At the end of the day, there is probably a lot of shit that my kids do that I'm like, nah, they'd never do that. And I stick up for them, okay? But on the other side of the fence, I think I'm pretty open with the amount of times my kids fuck up and say outrageous shit, okay? There is a full record for the last 4 years that you guys can go back and look back on. But this all comes down to, I don't even know how vague I should be on this, okay? Let's be super vague because then it broadens the horizons. Let's just say we were at a children's birthday party on the weekend. Not one of my children, a different child. One of my children just got invited to the party, so we were a guest to this birthday party. And Parker was also at the party. Nikita and I both went to the party, and Parker wanted to go as well. So I'm like, I'll tag along, and when P gets bored, I'll take him over to the other park and shit like that. And then it's not as much of a burden on Nikita, okay? Again, just going above and beyond in this parenting realm, okay? The perfect dad, like I said earlier. And so I take P away for a little bit. And I come back just before they're doing the cake. And Nikita's in this circle of parents. And they're just in this conversation of there was a rumor going around somewhere that they heard one of the kids at school swearing and things like that. And the way that these mothers were like clutching their pearls and going, oh, why? I would never imagine my precious little child saying that. Oh, God. And it just blew my mind because, look, I tell you guys, fucking Westy is shocking for swearing at the moment, and Nikita and I are well and truly cracking down on it. We probably gave him a longer leash than what we should have at the start, but now he is he's realised that we're serious about this, and he is toning it down a little bit. But I've been a grade 4 boy before, okay? I know exactly how they talk around the playground. I know the topics that they're talking about at school. I know that they're swearing every second word because they think they're the coolest cats on the playground. I know what's going down. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. And I'm just looking at these mothers and I'm just like, lady, your son is saying things in the school ground that would make fucking sailors blush. You know what I mean? That is how ridiculous their conversations are going. Anyway, I let all this simmer down. I don't say anything, obviously, at the party. We get home. And I pull Westy to the side and I go, hey, Westy, does, I knew the answer before I fucking asked this, by the way. I go, hey, Westy, does this kid swear at school? He goes, oh, yeah, he's the worst out of us all. And I go, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I know how to pinpoint the main culprits in the group because, like I said, I was once a 9-year-old boy. Was I potentially the one that swore the most? I don't think so, to be honest. Which may surprise some of you guys, the amount of times I swear on this podcast. But absolutely, absolutely wild. But every parent's just out there thinking that they're raising like this perfect Bluey type character, right? And realistically, we're just raising future inmates, okay? That's some of the shit that Westy says. I'm just like, brother, you're ready for the yard. You're ready to fucking stomp the yard. Oh, God. But, yeah, last week was actually a little bit chaotic across the board, okay? You guys thought my Monday was chaos. I'm going to have a sip before I get into this. Oh, God. That just fucking goes down a treat on a Monday morning. My Tuesday wasn't much better, if I'm being honest. I don't even remember why Tuesday was chaotic. Something happened. I don't even remember. But Tuesdays... So I picked the kids up from school and it was just one of those afternoons where I felt like I was in 30 different places in the house at once. I was hanging out washing. I was fucking doing the dishwasher, emptying the kids' school bags, getting them sorted for the afternoon, whatever they wanted to do to stay out of my hair for half an hour while I finished some bits and pieces. And then it came time to start dinner and I put dinner on and I just had this like 10-second window, like... No, not 10 seconds is fucking outrageous. Maybe a 30-second window. And Tuesdays are bin days here. So the bins were still out on the road empty. They just had to be brought in. And I just had this window and I was like, you know what? I could squeeze another task into this window, just tick off all these boxes. So I finish what I'm doing. I race out the front, ready to bring the bins in. And I don't know if you guys have this similar problem in your area. I'm assuming you do because I go up and down Brisbane streets fairly regularly for my job, and I always see this. Sometimes the garbage truck man, when he puts your bin down, the lid doesn't shut properly. It just flaps back on itself. So that has happened last Tuesday in my situation. So I'm cruising towards the bin. I'm assessing the situation, just seeing what I'm going to have to do when I get to the bin. And as I get to the bin, I grab the lid, right? But in hindsight, I probably should have grabbed closer to the handle of the lid. Instead, I've just grabbed the top part, like the closest to the top, and grabbed it and folded the bin lid back over. And my pinky finger here, has just become one with the hinge of the bin lid. And look, as you guys know, I'm a cabinet maker by trade. I work with hinges every day. You would think that I would be the most familiar with the way a hinge works out of anybody. But even I can still be defeated by the wheelie bin, because as I looked down, it was one of those moments where it had all happened and I knew something bad had happened, but the pain hadn't necessarily traveled to my brain yet. I'm just looking at my finger, my pinky finger here, just engulfed by the bin hinge. It looked fucking horrific. It looked so bad where I was almost too nervous to open the bin lid and free my finger again. I was just ready to accept my fate that I was now one with a bin. I thought I was going to have to live my entire life just walking around with a bin. Like, next time Westy receives an award, I'll just be at the back of his chapel just with the wheelie bin beside me with my finger in it. But I eventually work up the courage. I folded the bin lid back, and from my like top knuckle to my fingertip was just fucking black. God, it hurt. And all under my fingernail, you know, when you get like that blood build up, I was like, this is not going to fucking be good. But then I had to come back inside. I was like fighting back tears. Both the boys thought I was the biggest bitch in the world. And I was like, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? So I was getting ready to sue the council. You know, I was ready to call the council and go, hey, you guys are going to have to give me $6 billion because your truck driver didn't shut my bin properly. So just, yet again, guys, just one of those stories you get to the end of and you're trying to pump it up. You're trying to pump it up on the fly. You're like, okay, let's add this line. Oh, say this. This will be funny. And you get to the end and you got nothing and you're like, huh, okay. It calls for another sip of delicious kamikaze. So let's have a sip and then we'll see what the fuck my next story is and hope it's somewhat better. This is solo podcasting 101, guys. Not everything is going to be a home run. What do we got here? Oh, yeah, this could be a bit of fun. So, as I said last week, Parker's birthday, last Wednesday, he turned the big 6. So, pretty crazy. I don't know where all that time's gone, as every parent says ever. And I've said this before, Parker's pretty shy, okay? He doesn't really like the limelight. He doesn't like everything being about him. And we're like, do you want to have a party this year, P? He's like, oh, no, don't want to have a party. And we're like, well, what do you want to do? And we're spitballing things. We're like, do you want to fucking go here? Do you want to go there? And then I think Nikita said, do you want to go to a zoo? And this kid's obsessed with animals. And he goes, yeah, I want to go to a fucking zoo. So we lock it in. Sunday we were supposed to go to a zoo. And Sunday rolls around and he just has a good old-fashioned Jimmy Missing anxiety attack. And he's like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. We're like, oh, we've got to do something for your birthday. And he's like, no, I just want to stay home and just chill out here. We're like, oh. And then I think Westy or someone said, oh, what if we go to a play centre? And P is obsessed with play centres. Straight away, he's like, yeah, I want to do that. So we're like, okay. We start spitballing local play centres. And there's one, look, it's somewhat local. It's probably like a 20-minute drive from us at the beautiful suburb of Underwood, for those familiar with the Brisbane area. And we get in the car. We all get ready. We get in the car. And as I pull out of the driveway, I go, because Nikita took the boys there maybe, I don't know, a couple months ago. I was at work or something. And I go, you guys know where you're going? Ever so confidently, Nikita and Westy go, yeah, we remember. Now, something you guys should know, Nikita and Westy are absolutely shocking with directions. I don't know how they get anywhere when I'm not in the car. If maps didn't exist, I don't think they'd leave the driveway. And so I start driving and I'm like, probably get 10 minutes into the drive. I'm like, you guys sure you know where this is? And their confidence level is at 100%. They're like, yeah, of course. And I go, can you give me like where it's near so I can at least drive to that area without having to be like, oh, do I keep going straight? Do I go left? Do I go right? Because I work off landmarks, okay? A big thing in the trade industry that used to piss me off, like when the boss would send you on a drive, he'd be like, oh, you go up Thompson Road and then turn down Smith Road and then follow that up Willow Road or something like that. And I'll be like, I don't fucking know where these roads are. Just tell me like, oh, there's a red building on the right, then you'll pass a big tree on the left over there, and then your house is on the right over there. And then I'll be like, okay, I can find that. So I work off landmarks. So Nikita goes, oh, it's near Office Works. She goes, do you know where Office Works is? And I'm like, not really. And she goes, oh, okay. And then Westy goes, it's near BCF. And I've gone, I think I know where that is, I think. So I go, all right, I'll head that way, and you guys just tell me if I'm wrong. And then I throw something out there. I go, because I'm trying to think back. I feel like I'd been there before. And I go, is it near the Bunnings at Underwood? And straight away they go, Bunnings? No, I don't remember seeing a Bunnings. And I'm like, oh, okay, it must be a different play centre to the one I'm thinking of. We start driving. We continue driving. We're getting closer. And we're probably, I don't know, 5 minutes away from the play centre. We pass an Office Works. And I go, is that the Office Works? And Nikita goes, yeah, that's it. And I go, okay, so where is it around here? Do I turn? She goes, oh, no, it's a bit further. And I go, okay. So technically speaking, it's nowhere near the Office Works. And she's like, oh, it's near here. And I'm like, okay. And then I go, where's the BCF, Westy? And he goes, oh, I don't really remember. Somewhere around here. This looks familiar. And I go, and we're heading towards the Bunnings at this stage. And I go, are you guys sure it's not near the Bunnings? And they go, no, definitely not near a Bunnings. And I go, look, from what I remember, if it's the same play centre, we go to the lights at Bunnings, turn right. Bunnings is on the right-hand side of the road and the play centre's on the left. And they go, nah, definitely not. You must be thinking of a different one. So we keep going. And Nikita goes, oh, you got to turn right here. So I'm at the traffic lights at the Bunnings and I go, oh, Bunnings is just there. Nikita and Westy look out the window. They go, oh, so it is. Then as we turn down that street, we turn left straight away into the play centre car park. We get out of the car. The only thing you can see when you get out of the car is a massive green building with Bunnings just sprawled across the face of it, staring directly at us. And I'm like, so it was beside Bunnings. And they're like, oh, guess it was beside Bunnings the whole time. My God, I genuinely do not know how these people survive unsupervised by me. So shout out to anyone's partners that are absolutely shocking with directions. Oh, God. The stories are fucking thick this week, guys. Stay tuned. It's going to get bigger and better, I reckon. If you guys think that I put all my good stories at the top of the episode, I don't know what to tell you. That could be true. Let's see what else we've got on this list up here. I'm starting to quietly become less and less more confident in the rest of my list as I keep going. And this next story, I'm thinking about pulling the pin. I don't even know if I want to do it. All right. Let's do it. I wrote it down in case it was a quiet week, and now I just feel like I have to cover it. So the other afternoon, the kids wanted to go around to Mum's house after school. So I called Mum. She's like, yeah, I'll be home in 10 minutes or whatever. Drop her around there. And then I leave them there for an hour or so, go to pick them up before dinner's ready. And as I get there, Westy's walking out of Mum's house with what could only be described as a suitcase. And he goes, oh, Dad, I hope you got some room in the car for this. I've gone, what is that? And he goes, oh, it's my new shoes. And I've gone, how is there fucking shoes in that box? Because this box is gigantic. You could fit like Shaquille O'Neal's shoes in this size box, like size 18 or whatever, not a size 4 children's. It's overcompensating for something. And I'm like, and it's a sick box. It's like all like gold and shit. It's got LeBron James's little logo on the front. And he's like, yeah, it's my new basketball shoes. Nanny got them for me. And I'm like, okay. So we get him home. The whole drive home, I'm just looking down at this box that's like jammed down between his feet. And I'm just curious as to what shoes are in there. He's like, oh, you're going to love these, Dad. They're sick. And I'm like, okay. So we get home, walk in, put this box on the dining room table, and the amount of like latches and flaps and shit that you had to fold back just to get into the box was insane. So Westy finally gets in there. Then there's another box inside, and I'm like, this is crazy. Just fucking, what happened to the good old days where you'd go to like spend less shoes and just buy a $12 pair of fucking white shoes for school? And he folds back the first layer of this second box, and there's just this little baggie, like the size of, I don't know, fucking, it's a small bag, okay? Let's just say that. And then beside that is like a book. Now, I've never bought a pair of shoes that has come with a book in my life. So I get this book out, I start flipping through it, and it's all just photos of LeBron James highlights throughout his career, little like inspirational quotes and shit that he's fucking said. And I'm like, this is insane. Then Westy opens up the little baggie that I was trying to explain, and there's just this little like golden dinosaur skull in it. And I'm like, that is fucking sick. Like, what is going on right now? Just coming with books and collectibles. What is this pair of shoes? And I'm starting to wonder, like, how much do these shoes cost? And eventually we fold back another layer. There was a second layer of like, I don't even remember what was on the next one. There was something else. Maybe like another brochure, or maybe there was a poster or something. I don't remember. But just hidden stuff everywhere throughout this box. And we finally get to the shoes. The shoes aren't even in a fucking shoe box. They're in another like drawstring bag. So Westy pulls them out and he's like, you ready? I'm like, I was ready half an hour ago when you first started trying to attempt to open this box. And he pulls out these shoes. They are so fucking sick. I was like, I wish they were a size 13 men's, because those are unreal. I don't think I'd ever wear them because they're like proper basketball shoes. They're not like Jordans and shit that I could wear to shows. But turns out I had to Google them after because I was just so curious. The price tag wasn't as crazy as what I was expecting. I was looking at these and I'm like, these are fucking like $1,000 pair of shoes. They're not that much for anyone playing along at home, but they're still an outrageous amount to spend on a kid's basketball shoes for under 10s basketball that he's going to grow out of in 3 weeks. And so they are the LeBron James LeBronto edition. So they're basically like a specialty shoe that LeBron made for, I think it was like the 2017 series or something, where he eliminated the Toronto Raptors basically on his own shoulders. And every like little detail on this shoe is so insane. Like the amount of little 23s hidden everywhere, which are his numbers, little inspirational quotes inside the shoes, little gold badges with 23 and like the best ever written on it. What else was there? There's like the gold skull is like embroidered in the side of the shoe. And Westy put them on, and he's like, these are so fucking comfortable. It feels like they're massaging my foot. And I looked inside and it's got like little beads and shit everywhere. So Westy goes, I can't wait to wear these on Saturday for basketball. I'm like, brother, you need to put those up on your shelf or something. They're not really basketball shoes. And then Nikita's like, he can wear them if he wants. So he ended up wearing them on Saturday. Didn't play an amazing game in them, if I'm being honest. But no, tough team. Up against a tough team. Let's put it down to that. Westy, look, here's another little bit of truth for you guys. Westy's basketball team at the moment is really pissing me off because there is, how do we say this politically correct again? There is 2 teams, right? He plays for a certain club, and there's 2 under 10 teams. Now they should split them up evenly, right? That makes sense. 5 people on the court at a time, 2 or 3 subs would be good. Now the coach and his son, they're on one team. And they have 5 players and 2 subs. Perfect. Everyone gets a good amount of game time. Now, over the season, there's probably been like another 6 or 8 kids that have joined, and they have all just come to Westy's team. So now Westy's getting to play half a game if he's lucky, and it's doing his head in. So I don't know. We're considering maybe moving him teams because he's just getting no game time. And there's how many people are on the bench? We have 8 subs, which is ridiculous. You know what I mean? That's crazy. I don't know. It just makes sense to maybe put some of those kids on the other team, and then everyone gets to play the same amount of time. Anyway, who am I? What would I know? Anyway, let's let's crack out of that story with another turns out it can get worse clip. We need one right now to break out of that. What's this lovely lady got to say? Let's drag that over and hit play.
If I was a fart, would you let me go or would you hold me in your butt forever? Just remember me.
That chick has, she's been through it all. My God, I want to know what exactly happened to make that video come to fruition. But therapy, I think that's what she needs. A little bit of therapy and a little less TikTok. But if I was a fart, would you let me go or hold me in your butt forever, guys? That's what I want to know. That is the question of the week here on the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. Why didn't I move this up before when I was talking about the party? This is another story based on that kids party I went to on Saturday. I was, like I said, I took Parker and we were playing on certain different parts of the playground throughout the day, or the park, sorry. And at this stage, we're on the playground. Now, one of the parents from the party is walking around the park looking somewhat lost. And I don't know if she remembered me from the party or something, but she spots me in her peripherals. And she starts to walk over to me. Now, I want to reiterate, I've never seen this woman in my life. I don't know who the fuck she is. I don't think she has a kid that goes to our school. So I can only assume she's like a family friend or something that's come to the party. So I'm chilling on the playground with Parker. This lady walks up to me and she just goes, hey, you wouldn't happen to know where the toilets here are, would you? And this is a local park to our house, so we've been there before with the kids. So I point them out to her. I go, it's just that block over there. Point to the other side of the park from like where the party is and where we are. And she just lets out this massive fucking sigh. She goes, oh, well, I would have parked over there if I had known. And that just left me looking so fucking confused. I'm like, sorry? Next time I'll redesign this entire park infrastructure before attending the birthday party, just so you don't have to hold your piss in for as long as you need. But why did this become my issue? I didn't know what the fuck to say to her. So I was just like, okay, no worries. And then I pretended Parker called me. I'm like, what's that, P? And ran off like a little fucking bitch. So shout out to that lady for just making that my issue. All right, let's bit of a breakdown for you guys. I don't know if you guys are interested in hearing this or not, but I figured, like I say from time to time, I use the podcast as a bit of a diary. So this is more of a diary entry. So stay tuned for the next 5 to 10 minutes, I suppose, while I just talk about some shit going on in my life. I'm going to take a sip of this. All right. So I mentioned, was it last week? I think it was only last week because I thought this was going to be a long process, but it was so much quicker than I expected. So as we all know, I started TRT 8 weeks ago, testosterone replacement therapy. I went and got tested and they're like, holy fuck, how you are functioning male, you disgusting piece of shit. And I was like, I don't know. So I got tested. I only really knew about this shit from like as much hate and shit as they get, the whole like Rogan verse, okay? All those podcasts over in America, they all started talking about it. Apparently it's a lot bigger of a, what's the word? Fucking, why do I do this every week? Do you know the annoying part when I get stuck on a word and then I'm listening back in the edit and I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. It was this word. Not corporation, but like, it's a bigger thing in the States, okay? And it's not really as promoted here in Australia. I spoke about how hard it was for me to even get anyone to test my testosterone. They all thought I was some sort of lunatic that just wanted to get on the gear. So I've been on that now for 8 weeks, and I had my 8-week follow-up blood test last week. I got it on Wednesday morning. My results were back Wednesday afternoon. And my doctor had assessed them and given me a whole new protocol by Friday morning, which blew my mind. Like I said, I thought this was going to take weeks or whatever, but the fact that it was like so quick and easy just makes me like this shit even more. So let's start with the results. So as I said, a normal male's testosterone is supposed to be between 10 and 33. Mine was sitting at 6. So I was basically a functioning woman. And latest results that came in, I'm now sitting at 27. So obviously a huge spike in testosterone there, which is sick. That's why you want to do it. Then like basically all my testosterone levels, there's like 3 or 4 different types of testosterone in your body that they all went up basically. The one that skyrocketed is called free testosterone, and that is like, that's gone through the roof now. That is way beyond fucking like the window that they give you. So they want to try and bring that back down, which is understandable. And basically the rest of the results, I'm going to be honest, I had no idea what they were. But on my original blood test, the only real red flag that came back was the testosterone. The rest of all my levels, like it checks everything. All your organs, all your fucking cholesterols, vitamins that your bodies have, blah, blah, blah. All those were sweet. Then I got my blood test back last week and I had probably maybe 10 things on there that were in the red now. And I'm like, holy fuck, this thing has fucked my entire body. Now, this is why you shouldn't jump to conclusions, guys, because I got myself in such a funk from Wednesday afternoon to Friday when I heard back from my doctor, because I just thought that like, great, this has ruined my entire fucking body. Now I'm in a worse spot than when I started. I basically thought like, this is it. This is the end. I'm basically facing death now. So I put my original blood test into ChatGPT, and then I said, this is 8 weeks later. Can you break it down in fucking super simple layman's terms and tell me what's good, what's bad, if there's anything I should question my doctor on when I have my follow-up appointment on Friday? And it spat everything back, and it's like, look, it's not that bad. I would ask these few things to your doctor. Now, the 2 red flags that ChatGPT spat back to me that I was concerned about were as well as my testosterone rising, so has my estrogen, which is the fucking female hormone, right? And like I was trying to become less of a bitch, and now this shit is making me more of a bitch, but a man at the same time. I'm the ultimate human. And then the other thing was my hemoglobin, or whatever the fuck it is, your like blood thickness. And it said that that's higher than would like to see as well. So I'm like, fuck, I'm going to die. My blood's too thick. I'm turning into a woman. Can't get any worse. You know what I mean? Shameless plug. And so I sent all this shit to the doctor. And at the bottom of it, there's like, do you have any extra questions for your doctor? So I basically grabbed the 5 questions or something that ChatGPT said, look, I'd get a bit of further information on this shit. 2 of those being the estrogen and the thick blood. And the other ones were just some basic shit. And so the doctor got back to me and he's like, look, don't stress. He's like, based on your results that I'm reading here, you are basically the perfect patient for how TRT should be working. He's like, not one single level on that blood work screams a red flag to me. He's like, it's all well and truly expected, and you've taken to this shit a lot better than what a lot of people do. He goes, the things that you've flagged are, yes, we should monitor them for sure. He's like, but don't write yourself off on them. Like it's well and truly expected. So he goes, the way that we manage that now is we fuck around with dosages and we fuck around with how frequently you take the TRT. And he's like, I can almost guarantee when you have your next follow-up one in 12 weeks, you will be like, levels will be perfect. And I'm like, oh God, that was so like reassuring, because I was basically writing my will, you know. I was like, fucking, this is the end. So I guess without all the medical mumbo jumbo, I can break down how I'm feeling now that it's been 8 weeks. Again, it's not 100% where I'll be at, which is what he said. He's like, don't judge it completely until you get to the end of that next 12 weeks, because then your body will be well and truly functioning on the TRT. So couple of things that I've noted. My mood, completely fucking different, like day and night. I was like a moody little fucking bitch. And now it's like yeah, not things still irritate me. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's just part of being a human. But like back in the day, the smallest thing, well, 8 weeks ago, sorry, not back in the day, the smallest thing would just fucking trigger me, and then I'd be written off for the whole day, just pissed off about that. Whereas now it's just like, oh, whatever. Like it irritates me, but I'm not gonna burn so much energy on it. So energy, that's the other thing. Like I had none 8 weeks ago, and now I'm getting to the end of the day, and it's like I've still got that little bit more to like give the kids, give Nikita, go to gigs, whatever I've got to do. I am hoping that I do get like a fraction more. Like it's not exactly where I'd like it to be, but it is fucking. If I was a 3 8 weeks ago, I'm now at like a 7, like with energy levels. The like going to the gym and working out is insane. Like the amount of energy and like weight that I can push in the gym now, I'm like back to fucking when I was like 19, 20, which is good. And this is the big factor, okay? This is the main reason I wanted to get on it. And if this was the only sort of perk that I got from it, then it's a success in my book, okay? The big thing is it like fixes fucking mental clarity and like the way that you think and mood swings and all that sort of shit, right? And for the last like as long as I can fucking remember, and to be honest, I've spoken to you guys countless times about it, is I just 8 weeks ago I was waking up miserable. My eyes would open and I'd just be looking for reasons to be fucking pissed off and depressed and just not keen for anything. I was just mentally in a dark place. And I genuinely think over the last 8 weeks, I would struggle to count on one hand how many days I've woken up just fucking miserable and depressed. It is blown my mind how much of a switch it has flicked in my head. I've tried all the medications. I've tried fucking all the shit that the generic doctors want to send you to. I've tried the medicinal cannabis, which was, to be honest, that was the only thing that worked for me. But because of Australia's gay fucking laws and shit like that, just wasn't an option for me. Which I saw some shit in New South Wales last week that apparently they are reassessing the driving laws around medicinal marijuana, which is fucking sick. Hopefully the rest of Australia follows suit. But I am getting pretty similar results from this TRT that I was getting on that. And obviously this is all fucking legal and sweet for your body and things like that. But yeah, that was the biggest thing that I was hoping it would fix, and it well and truly has. So shout out to TRT, just a huge difference. And the other thing as well is like I was going through the results with Nikita over the weekend, and she's like, oh, I've told a couple of people that you're on it and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, fucking and I was waiting for like, oh, fucking James is a juice head now. James is a fucking idiot. Haven't you heard all the stories about this shit? The shit that I'm on is not like your traditional bodybuilder fucking steroids and shit like that. I'm not going to become the Hulk, okay? It's purely like, it's basically a bitch fucking steroid, if I'm being honest. It's not going to make me jacked. And she said the opposite. She's like, oh, they've been talking to their partners and stuff, and they're like, oh, we didn't even know this was like a thing, and now they're going to go get tested and all this shit, which kind of makes me feel good in a weird way that like, with me going through this shit now, other guys are going to get tested and be like, maybe this is why I'm like feeling this way, or maybe now that I've hit 30, I've got no energy and shit like that. Maybe I need to go get this looked at. So if you are feeling like your body's fucking run down, like you're feeling like some sort of 80-year-old grandmother, maybe there's more shit going on than what's at the surface. So go get your levels checked. There's nothing to lose just by going to do that. So yeah, just thought I'd give you guys an update on that. Speaking about getting jacked at the gym, this wasn't on my list until this morning. It has been a while since we've had a gym story. I've got 2 new little characters at my gym. They're relatively new. They've probably been there for about 2 weeks, okay? They're probably around that 19, 20-year-old mark, and I will never shit on anyone that goes to the gym, okay? Shout out to you guys for wanting to better yourselves, and just stepping foot in a gym is a huge achievement. There are still days where I go to the gym and I feel intimidated as fuck by like the huge jack dudes at the gym. But yeah, you'll never see me at the gym going, oh, look at that fat fuck over there. Like, I'll never say any of that shit. On the other hand, there are some annoying characters at the gym. I've told you about my old mate. I haven't seen him for a while again. But these two young guys, look, nothing against them until this morning. I was on the cables. Now, there's 2 cable machines at my gym, and both cable machines have got like 4 or 5 little break-off sections that you can put different attachments to and shit like that. And I was on one of them. There were still multiple cable sections available. These 2 young guys come up. They're standing behind me. And I'm like, what do these guys fucking want? I thought they must have wanted to chat or something. And I finished my set, pull my phone out while I'm resting, just having a quick scroll. And then I feel one of them like at my shoulder. So I turn, I'm like, hey, mate, how you going? And he's like, yeah, are you using the rope? The rope that was just in my hand that I fucking let go. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've only got 2 sets left. And he's like, oh, okay, we'll just wait then. And I'm like, okay, press play on my music again. And as I'm like watching them watch me wait for this rope, I'm looking around. I'm seeing all the available cables. So I'm like, oh, maybe this is the only fucking rope pull down left. Nah. I look down in the accessory box. There's still like 4 ropes in there that they can go and get. It felt like they were watching me like a seagull just waiting to pounce on a hot chip. So I just sort of dragged out my next 2 sets and I was like, all right, I'm all done, boys. It was so fucking weird. I was like, do I just cave in and give these boys the ropes? And I was like, nah, I've been at this gym long enough. I'm like the fucking the veteran of the gym, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what those guys' issues were. But I got a lot of stories this week. Might just scrap the shit I've consumed at the end because I didn't really consume much this week. But
make sure that you update your computer.
That was the last Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip that I hit play a little bit early on. Sorry, guys. This was God, that scared the fuck out of me. Anyone watching on YouTube just said, I thought someone barged my door down. Took me back to the home invasion days. Yeah, I was cruising home I was at the gym car park this morning, and I treat myself to like 4 or 5 scrolls on TikTok before I start driving. And I'm in this little rabbit hole at the moment of like nostalgic 90s and early 2000 things. Like it'll play a theme song from a show we used to watch back in the day, and I'll be like, oh my God, that's incredible. I remember that. And this morning's one brought back so many memories. Now, you guys might think I'm a little bit gay for this, but back in the day, bit of a Saddle Club fan, okay? Bit of a Saddle Club fan. Just when that theme song hit, just like, hello world, this is me. It was a fucking sick time, you know? Now, did I potentially have a crush on the 3 girls, which is completely normal when you're also like their age, okay? I'm not watching reruns right now going, God, those chicks are hot, okay? Don't fucking look at me in that way. And it just, like that whole drive home from gym, I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, they were famous when I was younger, but I haven't seen any of those 3 girls in anything as of late. So I highly doubt they made enough money off the Saddle Club to now be like professional actors, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, imagine going to your like doctor's office and the receptionist is like Stevie from the Saddle Club. Fucking blew my mind. Just your celebrity crush just now being like, can you fill out these papers? Blew my fucking mind. Let's play a Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip before we get into my week in comedy. This one was actually sent in by another listener, so shout out to you if you did send this one in. Let's hit play.
Oh, first name letter J. I stacked the donuts on it like you asked me, and I have the Boston cream on top. Oh yeah, a nice treat just for you, letter J. Enjoy.
Jesus Christ, just a guy stacking donuts on his dick, calling out people who start with J. Unfortunately, that's me. My name starts with a J, so shout out to you for sending that one in. My week in comedy, let's rip through this real quick. I signed off last week saying I had no gigs booked in, but surely something would pop its head up. And there were 2 sign-up nights where I almost went into, one Tuesday, one Thursday, and I was just like, ugh. I just couldn't work up the courage, you know? Like a lot of the sign-up nights are... they're not great, if I'm being honest. And I just didn't want to go to a sign-up night that wasn't doing great and then be like the last one there. and performed like a crowd of two. I know, complete diva moment. I would have killed for that back in the day. Anyway, who the fuck is that? Anyway, then Sunday rolls around and I get a message from a room runner from the casino and he goes, "Oh, I've just had a dropout. I don't suppose you're available." And I've gone, "Actually, I fucking am." Now, this room runner's messaged me so many times over the last couple of months and I've always had a gig the same night. So I'm like, "Look, I'll take tonight." And I've always also been super slack booking gigs over the next like month or so. Can you fill some of those nights? And he's like, "Yeah, sure." Still haven't heard from him. So hopefully I will follow that up today. So head down to the casino and all I knew is I didn't have this gig a couple of hours ago. So I have zero expectations. I'm sick of all my jokes and I want to try some new shit. So I'm like, what can I work in there? So I remembered back to that yogurt joke. I said I tried twice the other week, worked once, bombed the other time. I'm like, okay, I want to try that again, see how that goes. And well, let's start on that one. I basically threw that one in there in the middle of my set and fucking crushed again. Now, I was stoked because that meant that, okay, it's worked 2 out of the 3 times. There must be something there. And yeah, I think the punch on that needs to be a little bit stronger, but at least I know there's a little gem there that I can keep working on. So the last thing was, obviously I told the home invasion story twice at Alpha Fest last week, obviously to get into the competition and then again on stage. And I was like, well, since it's fresh in my head and because I will eventually have this solo show kicking off towards the back end of the year, I need to start getting these stories back in my head again. So I'm like, why don't I just throw that out there tonight and see how that goes? So that is the first time I've ever done it outside of the solo show, like in a comedy environment. And I took all the pressure off myself. So before the gig, I pulled out my notebook and I was flipping through it, found the home invasion story that I wrote for the solo show. And I was kicking myself the amount of punch-ups and shit that I missed at Alpha Fest last week. I'm like, fuck, this would have been so much better with this. And so I quickly tried to memorize the whole thing again. And I let all pressure off because I basically did my set, got all the laughs and shit that I needed, felt like I earned the trust of the crowd. And I just said to them at the end, I go, okay, I'm just going to finish on a bit of a story tonight if that's cool. And they're like, oh yeah, sweet, let's go. And it just felt like that took all the pressure off. It just felt so much more relaxed. And I just treated it more as like storytelling rather than stand-up. And I was getting consistent giggles at the little punch-up parts that I put in there, which was good. And then when I hit that final line, probably my biggest laugh of my set, which felt so fucking good. It was a cool little like, I felt like it was a switch in my stand-up of going from that like set up punch to like that storytelling genre that I eventually want to get to anyway. But it's just, I found it hard to do the storytelling shit at these comedy nights because it's not really what people are there for. So yeah, that was a sick little spontaneous gig and I got to try 2 new jokes, which was cool. Little turns out it can get worse clip from the story from the casino is when you go there, you're like an employee of the casino for the night. So you got to sign in, sign out. You get a little pass thing that gets you like all access to the casino. And, oh, fuck, just dropped my phone. Scared the shit out of me again. And you get your parking validated at the end. God, fucking notifications. What a way to end the episode. Let's turn them off. Yeah, you get your parking validated on the way out, so you get free parking. And I signed out. Tried to find the ticket in my wallet. I go, fuck, I left it in my car. And she goes, oh, have you been here for less than 3 hours? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, oh, sweet. You'll be fine then. The gate should just open for you. And that sounded sus when she said it. And I'm like, I'd rather go back and get my ticket, come and get it validated and just know that I'm going to be let out. She goes, no, you'll be sweet. Sundays and weeknights, it's free parking for 3 hours. I'm like, okay. So I go get in my car and I trust this lady. Drive to the gate, sure enough, pops up on the screen, $20. And I'm like, I'm not paying $20. And thank God there were no fucking cars behind me. And it was like perfect silver linings the whole way through because there was no cars behind me and there was a park right behind the boom gate. So I could just reverse straight into that. Went in there, gave her my ticket. I go, didn't work. And she goes, oh, well, at least we all know for next time. I feel like she did it on purpose just to like teach me a fucking lesson. So shout out to that chick. And the last little gig I'll touch on this week is, I don't know if I touched on this last week or even the week before, but little spontaneous random gig has popped up for me. A comedy club in the city. I'm not going to say which one. I'm going to keep it super vague because then some other comedians that might catch wind of this will message them and be like, why the fuck aren't we getting these opportunities? So they shot me a message and they're like, hey, we just had a random gig come across our desk and we thought of you. Would you be keen to MC a charity night in the Valley in a few weeks? And I'm like, okay, sounds random and weird, but I'm up for anything. And they go, look, it's going to be a cruisy gig. And I go, okay, lock me in. So I locked it in, and then I find out it's for a children's cancer fundraiser, which doesn't exactly scream comedy. You know what I mean? Like, nothing screams comedy like don't bomb in front of cancer. But then I started to learn more about the gig, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't sound as hectic as what I'd prepared myself for. So it's basically like a punk and hardcore rock night at a bar up in the Valley. There's like 7 or 8 bands playing, and then between the second last and the last band is where I've got to go on, and I've basically just got to MC for half an hour, get a bit of joy in the room, get some laughs happening, and then do the raffle fundraiser thing and basically auction off a few things. So it's a completely random and weird gig. So yeah, I'm quietly keen for it, but also shitting myself. So yeah, it should be a fun one. Also, like, the people that I've told, they think that's like the sickest gig that I've ever landed. Like, fucking, I could have told them I did Alpha Fest last week. They're like, oh, that's boring. And now I'm like, I'm doing a children's cancer fundraiser in the Valley. And they're like, oh my God, that's incredible. You're such a good human. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now. So, look, as I said, I'm going to skip the fucking what I've consumed this week. I was just going to break down the UFC card that happened yesterday, but I might do that on the UFC breakdown happening also this week. So let's just wrap up the episode there, guys. I think we're touching on the hour anyway. Just so you guys know as well, that UFC little breakdown that I was going to do at the end there was going to be brought to you by our friends at Knucklebet. So get around them, guys. Gamble responsibly. Did have a couple of sneaky wins there yesterday, including our airport friend, Tom Nolan. Aussie gets the win there, paying $3.50, I might add. So shout out to Knucklebet. Gamble responsibly. Other than that, guys, that's brought us to the end of the episode. Gigs this week. Wednesday the 10th, I'll be at the Jungle Bar at West End. Friday the 12th, I'll be at the Camp Hills Bowls Club. I've never done that one, so we'll see how that one goes. And then this Thursday, our UFC breakdown for the White House card comes out. My God, I'm fucking pumped for that. So if you're a UFC fan, tune in, see who I'm picking for all the fights, things like that. Other than that, guys, send submissions. If you want to get in touch with the show, send submissions via DM on Instagram at Can't Get Any Worse Podcast, or shoot me an email at can'tgetanyworsepod@gmail.com. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have ripper weeks, and I will see you later.
Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game.